Well, it's great to be with you, and I loved what you said. And your personal story is just a great reminder that Americans are not against immigration. We embrace it. It's made our country great. But legal immigration means that people come here because they really want to be Americans and they want to share in the American dream. They're not just coming over because Joe Biden waved them in and had no idea who they were, why they were coming, what they were going to do when they get here, or if they carried a communicable disease.
You know, Governor, the month of December, it's on pace to break another record. CBP sources confirm that migrant encounters have now passed more than 250,000 for the month alone. I mean, God only knows how many gotaways. Governor, I mean, how much of a national security threat is Biden's wide open border policy?
It's a huge national security threat because these people are not just coming from one or two Central or South American countries. They're coming from all over the world, from 170 different countries. We see people from China coming through the southern border. Why are they coming through the southern border? Why don't they just fly into San Francisco or LA? Well, because it's a lot easier to walk right through, no passport needed. This is insane. And I don't understand why more Democrats aren't fed up with it. It's kind of nice to see some of these mayors, but frankly, I don't feel sorry for them. They prided themselves on being sanctuary cities. Oh, how self-righteous they were, and how welcoming they were, and how horrible those Texans were because they were dealing with a crisis. I think it's important that it was Jay Johnson, who was Barack Obama's Director of Homeland Security, who said that if you had more than 1,000 illegals coming across the border, you were faced with a crisis they couldn't handle. We're dealing with 15,000 a day. And I just don't think the media has paid enough attention to this, other than, of course, places like Newsmax, you have. But for the most part, they've ignored it. But they can't ignore what's happening in New York and Chicago and major cities across the country anymore because it's starting to affect everybody.
It really is. Do you think this is the breaking point for the Democrat voter? You saw the Google searches there. We played a clip there from CNN that you got people in New York City and Chicago. Here on the streets of New York City, we see all the migrants are scooting around. And it's just, what is going on here? Because you see that the majority of these people, over 90% of them, are young men of military age.
Yeah, these are not young families who are starving and looking for asylum because they're being persecuted. That's a totally different situation. Here's the tragedy. A lot of the young people who are coming across the border are being sold into sex slavery. The humanitarian crisis ought to be enough to make these compassionate Democrats tear their garments and say, my gosh, these are little kids that are coming across the border that are being exploited for slave labor and sex trade. But they're not saying that. The dumbest thing I hear is the clips like you played earlier with Eric Adams, who once said that it was the Trump Republicans who are at fault. What kind of world do you live in that you blame somebody who isn't even president and hasn't been in the past 2 years for something that Joe Biden did on his first day in office when he basically donned Minnie Pearl's hat and said, y'all come. And boy, have they ever.
Have they ever? Governor Mike Huckabee, thank you so much, sir, for joining us this evening.
Thank you.